Hi, this is Shu with a review of a shoe that's not exactly the latest model out there, but they have proven to be very impressive and quite a little bit of an upgrade compared to its original version. This is the Why Not 02 SE, the special edition, or slightly lower cut compared to the original Why Not 02. The Why Not 02 was impressive. It had a really large forefoot zoom air. It had a decoupled midsole to make it lightweight, and I love the way the heel has an outsole stretched all the way, and it has a midsole supporting you from the heel strike to provide some added cushioning and responsiveness as you step back or take your first step forward. So this is great, very much something that caters to the needs of a crazy triple double machine like Russell Westbrook. The setup is very similar to the Jordan 30, which is probably Russell Westbrook's favorite Jordan models. He wore this for the longest time, and even when they gave the 31 as Russell Westbrook's own, Westbrook actually just had the upper of the 31s, so it looks like he's still wearing the 31s, but he actually had the midsole and the outsole of the 30s transplanted there. Later on, they released it as the 30.5. But the midsole, the forefoot zoom cushioning, unlock zoom, and the heel, this is a lot more plush, and the fabric, the foam material is a lot better than the 29s. The 30s actually work better because this wasn't encapsulated, so there was a lot more give and flexibility, and even at the core, it's got a little bit of a hollow point there, so that there's a little bit more room for a little bit of a absorption and bounce there. But I don't know what the setting is, but this actually feels a lot better than any type of Zoom or Maxxair heel cushioning. The heel cushioning is good here, but unfortunately I can't say the same for the 02 SCs. I mean, the foam is good, it feels great at first, but as you run around, it feels like it bottoms out a little bit, and you wish it was a little bit thicker and you implemented something like the Jordan 30s. So that's a little bit of a problem for me, but it's not too bad, especially because the forefoot zoom, I don't know what it is, but the SEs feel different. It feels better than the original 02s. And personally, I think the forefoot zoom unit, it feels like it's the biggest, softest, most responsive one, the best forefoot zoom air among Nikes out there. It's Why Not 02 SEs. Better than the Jordan 34s, better than the Kyrie's Zoom Turbo or whatnot. This is the best out there. If you love forefoot zoom that actually provides what you need in terms of responsiveness and shock absorption and everything, I think this is the best ideal setup in terms of forefoot zoom unit. But there's been reports of some popping, so that's something you might want to look into. Personally, I did not have the problem yet. The upper, it fits a lot better for me than the original 02s. The toe box is a little bit lower, and the width is not crazy narrow, but not crazy wide. It's just right. For the original 02s, I felt the width was a little bit narrow, and the toe box had a little bit of a dead space. So it's the worst of both worlds for me. But for the SEs, they got it done differently, and they got it done right. The upper is a little bit of a starchy textile material. It's not exactly the most breathable shoe out there. It gets a little bit hot in there. And as for the lace loops, this is okay, but on the second lace loop, you probably want to skip this and use the one inside, because when I use this, it tends to scratch into my socks or skin a little bit, so you might want to skip that. But you still get the adequate lockdown with this and these lace loops. The traction is good, just like the Why Not 02s. It's similar to the PG3s, and they have, I think they have an updated version of this pattern in the KD13s. As for changes you might want to make to the cushioning, is because it's lacking heel cushioning. What I did was I pasted a bit of a zoom air that's sold online, and this is usually used on the forefoot, but I feel like it takes up enough space and it provides adequate cushioning for the heel. So this was a good little tuning that I did, And the insole, the ortholite insole. One reminder for everyone: if you are thinking about exchanging insoles, please try and slowly peel them out before you actually have a go at your shoes. Because if you wear the shoes with the insole on before you try removing them and putting them back on, the glue or tape or adhesive, whatever, they will form a molecular bond once you heat them up with your body heat. Then this is what's going to happen. You're going to have these bits and pieces left behind, stuck in the shoe. So if you're thinking about making changes to the insole, try and remove them gently before you actually wear them and heat them up. Because once you do that, it's not going to be plausible to remove them without damaging them. The options out there is you could get Zoom Air units that's just on the heel, and that actually works for 4-foot Zoom unit basketball shoes like the Why Not 02s. I felt this was pretty good, but then again, the problem is the 4-foot insole. It might not be the best option out there. So what you might do is you cut out the heel and adjust whatever 4-foot insole that you prefer of your choice. Cut them there and do a little bit of a Professor Frankenstein there. And as long as you tape it a little bit, it's not going to separate because your foot's going to be pressing on these anyway. Another option out there is that you could get a full-length air sole. This is a brand called Underdog. I don't know if they're sold internationally, but in Korea, there's a person who's been studying a PU material fused with Zoom Air, like the amazing ones insoles you found in the Zoom Flyposits and the Zoom GPs of the past. And this is really thin. The man who's been working on this managed to make it super thin, like an ortholite insole thin, and yet it's Zoom Air. Yeah. You can actually see the Zoom Air. It's pretty transparent there. You can see my fingers moving behind it. That's how thin it is, but the Zoom Air is prominent. And on the heel, it's got a little bit more extra padding of the polyurethanes, so you have a adequate heel-to-toe drop. And it's really, he's been doing his research, and this is not going to puncture out or slowly bottom out. It's very bouncy and durable, like the best type of Zoom out there. So if you use this with this, that's the kind of Zoom Strobel 4-foot Zoom unit setup that you get with the KD13s, only better.